Hey everyone, welcome into TexAgs Rewind presented by T-Mobile here on a Tuesday, December 28th. I don't remember what day it is because I was on vacay, but I am back to do the show for a couple days this week before another couple of days off. But we want to remind you about T-Mobile being a proud partner of this show and to visit T-Mobile.com/across America to learn more about what you can get with T-Mobile, their coverage there, and they do such great work. All right, guys, so on the show today, Charean Williams, Pro Football Talk. She was on the show to talk about bowl game withdrawals. Of course, we're not getting the Gator Bowl this week, but that's all right. We've got SEC college basketball play right around the corner, and Logan Lee joined us to talk about that with Georgia coming up next week. We also had Andrew Monaco to talk some football, talk some college basketball, and there are some bowl games today to talk about. We had Aaron Torres from Aaron Torres Online and Fox Sports Radio on the program. It is TexAgs Rewind presented by T-Mobile. Surprised how the media turned on Texas A&M last week with them not going to the Gator Bowl and all these hit pieces that were out there and the Rivals guy, all these people on social media. Were you surprised by that?
Not really. I mean, it is what social media is, right? And that's kind of what happens when some of these things occur. But, I also saw, I think was it halftime of one of the bowl games that somebody was saying, hey, they did the right thing by their players. You don't want to have COVID and then send them back out there having not practiced it. I mean, it's a dangerous sport to just throw guys out there when you haven't practiced and done the things you need to do to prepare for a game. And this isn't professional football. And, I think people are seeing now with all these bowl games getting canceled and teams changed out or whatever they've done with all these bowl games, that it's a real thing. I mean, like I said, you can look at the NFL with all the COVID cases and the games moved that they have. It's a real thing. And I don't know that you want to expose college kids to different than the NFL, that you want to have them go out there and A, either play with COVID or B, come right back from COVID and walk in without having practice. I just don't think that's what you should do as a college team. But I think things have settled down. We've seen some more teams opt out of these games. That A&M is not the only team to have done this, and I think you're starting to see it. And I also saw the criticism of Hawaii was the second team to do it, and they got criticized for pulling out too late. Well, if you pulled it out earlier, we could have gotten another team in here. Well, that's exactly what A&M did. So I think A&M did the right thing, pulling out when they did, allowing Rutgers to go play that game. Wake Forest wanted to play. It allows them to have the game. And, my question, David, is this bowl thing sustainable? I mean, no one cares about these bowl games. They don't. I mean, no one cares.
Quick one. So they got one more game before conference play. What do they need to get accomplished here? Like, what do you think coaching staffs are doing here with just such short time before it really gets real?
I think it's the same. I think they go into the Central Arkansas game the same as they went to the Dallas Christian game. Focus on themselves. Really hone in on the execution of offense. Really hone in on the defensive sets. One thing that Buzz mentioned in the presser yesterday was he wasn't happy with the few times that they got middle drives. The defense is supposed to be forcing them to the sideline, to the baseline, to the short corner. So that way help side defense, all the rotation knows exactly when and where they're supposed to be. When things go when the ball gets to the middle, defenses break down. You have to rotate out of position. And I think they're going to really focus on that side of the ball. They really got to continue to rebound. Last night they dominated the boards. They were supposed to dominate the boards. Obviously, it was Dallas Christian. They were supposed to do that, but they have to continue to get better rebounding. And that's going to be a focus all year long. And then on offense, it's just execution. If Buzz calls a play and they need to be in the right spot at the right time, and just getting those little details in is the only thing that's going to get them through conference, because they're not going to, while they have a ton of talent, they're not going to be more athletic than any other team in the conference. They're not going to be more talented. They're not going to be more skilled. So they have to be more disciplined than anybody else.
Are you intrigued by this team? Because I know they're winning games and they're beating teams that they should beat, but the way they're playing.
Yeah, I said before, the Oregon State win, interesting to watch it the first time, had it taped and watched it again, and how fluid everything was on the offense and the defense. And because, not that Oregon State if you look at the record, I like there were a couple guys who were still back from playing them a couple of years ago, but not all of their talent. And they were hit by COVID. I just like the way the offense ran and the defense ran, and how the defense became offense for the majority of the 40 minutes. There really wasn't a lot of down in that game. They were really humming. The other thing I like about this team is they kind of know that they've got something special in the defensive end, that they know that can impact the game almost more than their offense. The defense triggers their offense. And that jumped out at me against Notre Dame in the comeback, where they knew they had the Irish. Once they had that feeling, all bets are off now. It becomes they impose their will at that point. Now, how do you stop that first half where they're down by 10? How do you stop that first half at TCU where you're down 10? Those are the things that they have to fix. This is what the non-conference is for, because everything gets magnified in the SEC. But
Houston, they're still a group of 5 team by technicality now as they get set to move to the Big 12. This game means so much more for them. But Auburn, listen, those guys have pride too. Those guys are fighting for playing time and opportunities next year as well. And to go back to your first question, David, I think this might be what the future of bowl games is, where maybe the 2 or 3 star players opt out, but it's a great opportunity for some other guys. And I think for Auburn's guys, no Roger McCreary, their star defensive player. There's a couple other guys that are opting out, but this is a great opportunity for them. I look forward to that Ohio State game. As I just mentioned, they had 2-3 players opt out. Well, they got a bunch of young guys that were sitting in that receivers room and some of the other skill position players that are going to get great opportunities in this Rose Bowl. So I do think that's sort of what this is becoming. And I don't know if that's okay with fans. And maybe, like I said a minute ago, that as these NIL deals evolve and name, image, likeness evolves and all that stuff, that maybe more marquee players will play, the Isaiah Spillers, guys like that. But I do think that's what's coming. And again, to your point, I think it's a really interesting game, because I think the idea that Auburn's just not going to show up because they don't want to be there, I don't know that I necessarily agree with that, especially with the game being played in their home state.
All right, thank you so much for watching this TexAgs Rewind presented by T-Mobile. Want to remind you to like, subscribe. Does anybody actually do that? I know I'm supposed to say it at the end of YouTube videos, but just do it. Just do me the favor. Just do it. Tell your friends about it. Comment, share, all that good stuff. Happy New Year if I don't see you again. Thanks for watching TexAgs Rewind.